Hi, everyone. My name is Sophie Douala. Thanks for the introduction. And I'm a visual artist and creative director exploring design through the lens of culture, evolution, and emotion. Currently, in the background, you can see a collection of recent projects, so you get a general idea of what I do. And so I'm really excited to be here and to introduce you a bit about my practice. But before we dive into it, I wanted to talk about something a little bit more personal and something that also entangles with my practice. It is the idea of manifestation. I feel like as long as I can remember, I've always been a dreamer. I've always been in my head, inventing stories and predicting the future. Some time ago, I read this amazing article on Collins that was titled, "You Are What You Believe Yourself to Be." And next to the image was an illustration that was illustrated the reflection. So this is not my design, but I wanted to share it because when I saw it, I had to really think, this really resonates. So this design highlights the relationship between complete confidence, despair, naivety, rationality, uncertainty, and optimism. All of these converging into the psychology of self-delusion. It made me understand another layer of my brain and perhaps some potential point about my personality. So, coming back to manifesting, or perhaps self-delusion, often at the beginning, end of a year, I like to write down some intentions. And I had to blank most of it, but one of them was to be invited to an event as a guest speaker. And literally, literally 1 week later, Isna's dad emailed me about this event. So is this magic? In the end, I do believe that setting intentions to what we want to do plays a big role in the creative process. So, continuing with It's Nice That, we worked together for the first time in 2020 for the visual identity of one of their projects, Conscious Creativity. It was a series of opinion pieces exploring how to shape the future of the creative industry. And this might look abstract, but there is often a conceptual thinking behind my design. Whereas it is, in this example, to highlight a process, an evolution, or some sort of duality, or perhaps a connection or momentum. I like to work with keywords so that the design really highlights the story we are trying to share. So here we can see the many layers between the contributors, the art direction, the illustration, coming together into one strong piece. So moving further to my story, I was born in Cameroon, I grew up in France, and I'm currently based in Berlin. The fact of being from the diaspora and having lived in many places gives me this feeling of being from nowhere and everywhere at the same time. But moving to Berlin 11 years ago was a stepping point in my career. I started working on posters for parties, and to these days, music is a big part of me. So here you can see, for example, some of my current vinyl collection. And on the right side is a very special design. It is 100% made in Berlin as part of a community project. So it's this kind of project that is low quantity, low budget, but made with a lot of love. And continuing with the topic of manifestation, you might wonder how this design ended up here. On the left is a digital artwork from the band 3070 and released on the label Rhythm Section. They are based in London, so cheers to them. And on the right side is part of my first solo show, Follow the Black Rabbit, that lasted 6 months at the Stedelijk Museum of Amsterdam. I feel that manifesting is about not limiting yourself, being open to new experiences, and cultivating a boundary-pushing mindset. In my work, for example, the blurriness between art and design is something that I like to dig in. Another important characteristic of my work is storytelling. What you might have felt walking through this installation is a sense of rest, pause, introspection, but also melancholy. An ode to my generation, hoping and searching. Those images, captured by my friend and photographer Nixon Mukiza, aim to embody those nuances. So as you see, on top of the nice colors and gradients in my work, there is a lot of conceptual thinking and emotional depth. And so I wanted to share one more project that is also illustrating the deep creative process. It is a video installation created for the recent Boiler Room party in Berlin and envisioned as a sort of meditative flow. When I was working on this, last November, I was especially devastated by the news and felt the need to create something wholesome. The piece is inspired by resilience and collective liberation, how our social identities overlap and influence one another. A multisensory experience with sound, visual, and body sensation, and an invitation to collectively enter a dream space. And so, to finish this presentation, I would like to play an extract of this video, so you get to experience it, and it's gonna be accompanied by a sound contributed by my friend, musician, Tibia. Everything not lost can be saved.